You told me once that you did research into the oral history, the voices of Kentucky, Indiana.
Yeah.
Tell them about that, because it's fascinating research.
Well, this is a very cool story about the Library of Congress, really, because it was a lot to do with personal ambition, wanting to play Lincoln. I knew it was a great part, and I really wanted to do it.
This is Gore Vidal's Lincoln.
This is Gore Vidal's Lincoln on television. And I lobbied hard to get it, and I did. Then I was in Washington, and I had an afternoon. I just had an afternoon free, and I wandered into the Library of Congress, and I was standing in the card file room, which I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's as big as a cathedral, and very impressive. And I was sort of standing there sucking my thumb, wondering where to begin. And a nice young woman came up to me and said, "Can I help you?" And I said, I was wondering if you had anything here about Lincoln. And she said, well, actually, we are the Lincoln Library. And I said, oh, good, that's lucky. And they showed me a letter from an actor to Lincoln, and they showed me his life mask, and they showed me casts of his hands. And towards the end of the day, I was saying, well, I really have to go. I have to catch a train. And they took me back down. This guy said, here's one thing. I think you come with me. Do you have a few minutes? And down these stairs and down a long corridor and down to the back of the building and into a room that the archives that we were in today reminded me of a little bit. Lots of big tables with work lights over them. All of them turned out in this room, except for one at the back, and there were these shaded lanterns and this pool of light on this table. And my escort said, have you closed it up yet? And the man working back there said, no, but I'm about to. And he said, well, wait a minute. I got somebody here. I want to show him the stuff. And he said, well, I don't know if you really think this is okay. And he said, sure, I promise you it's all right here. And he picked up this stuff and he put it in my hands, and it was the contents of Lincoln's pockets on the night he was shot. And this business, I mean, what we're talking about is feeling a direct connection to history. This is a terrific honor, and it's a great pleasure to be able to use some of Jack McCoy's celebrity to invite you to look at this treasure that you have here in your midst, which is this archive. We were talking about it earlier today, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier tonight about where the story that is our history comes from, and how much of it comes from inside of us as we look at it, and how much of it comes from the objective facts of the history itself, and how much those objective facts can actually reflect what actually happened, which is, as every one of us knows, a complete impossibility just when we try to tell about an important or even trivial event in our own lives. That by speaking about it and naming it, we depart a little bit from the wholeness of the experience. It's inevitable. But an archive, like this archive, is one of those tethers that keeps the balloon from completely departing from the earth. And it's just invaluable. So it's a great pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.